fight's not over.
Stop the fight!
People.
Everybody, I come here for everybody. Kill everybody. I'm the champ. I'm the king. Kill everybody. Ah!
All right, guys, welcome back to Broke Bets. Giving you guys our bets for Luque versus Dos Anjos. I'm Lane. I got my co-host here, Carson.
Yes, sir. We got some good bets this week.
We got a lot of plus money plays. I like a lot of the lines this week. So, if you guys missed our little recap on our last week, had some losing bets, but made some live bets to make up some of the sum. But it wasn't too bad of a week considering how the two previous winning weeks were. To start this card off, man, got our first bet, AJ Dobson. I think AJ Dobson's hand speed is just going to be such a problem for Nchukwi here. Coming back down to 185, it might be kind of hard for him to deal with. And Dobson's hand speed just cutting apart some of these middleweights. And I think that him facing someone like Armen Petrosyan gave him a lot of experience facing a very technical fighter with better speed than Tafon. And I don't think Tafon really has too many chances to honestly get a knockout in this fight, and I think that AJ Dobson is on the side where he can point fight this, he can knock out Nchukwi, and I like him as an underdog here. He's got the hype behind his name, and after the two losses against good competition, I'm not surprised. So, yeah, give me AJ Dobson. Second bet, Vicente Luque. I'm really surprised he's an underdog in this fight. I think that brain hemorrhaging whole ordeal made him flip to makes him an underdog for the odds. I guess it's pick 'em, but I feel like he should be the favorite by a somewhat of a margin. He just hits so hard at welterweight, and RDA's always been a tweener for this weight class, and it's hard to see RDA getting Luque out of there, and I could see Luque just really punishing him with the age advantage and taking a year off, totally recovered here. I think that could really pay off for Vicente Luque here. And like I said, he's a finisher, so I like the side of people who are going to go for the kill. And yeah, give me Luque. You any thoughts there?
Yeah, I mean, I think he gets a finish if he wins. I mean, if it goes to a decision, it's probably going to be RDA.
Maybe.
But yeah, I mean,
it might be one of those fights where it's like wrestling versus damage. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. I mean, RDA doesn't get finished too much, besides Fazeev. But yeah, I guess up at 170, I guess he could withstand some of that damage. And
I think Luque hits harder than Fazeev too. Not to disrespect Fazeev, he's got good kicks and all, but Luque's got a little more power, I think. Anyway, fighter parlays. Moving on. I got Marcus McGhee and Francis Marshall parlay together here. I just think that McGhee, for one, the natural 135er, and he's even big for a 135er. JP Buys being the natural flyweight, in my opinion. The only scare for this fight, I think, is a first-round submission for JP Buys. Otherwise, it's a complete striking advantage for Marcus McGhee, and I think that his takedown defense and grappling has showed to be pretty good in his regional fights and also his first UFC fight. But again, first round guillotine is really the only way JP Buys could win. That's a really good sprinkle bet if you want to cover the side of Marcus McGhee. But then also Francis Marshall, like I said in our breakdowns video, I just think this guy is the full package. Obviously, the William Gomis fight didn't go his way, but he's facing a lot taller of opponent who was really good on the back foot. Makes him really hard to hit. Isaac Dulgarian just doesn't have that MMA in the cage experience yet. You know, he's got 5 wins, and all of which are in the first round. You know, that's a total amount of cage time of like 6-7 minutes, so it's not that impressive to me so far. Obviously, it's impressive to put people away, but when you come to the big show, it's not a good sign. And I think Marshall's power and wrestling will show up here. So, yeah, give me those two.
Yeah, I mean, for McGhee, I mean, he's got really good takedown defense. He showed that in his last fight, and then he's got pretty good power on the feet too. So I like him to find a finish. And for Marshall, yeah, like you said, a complete package. And I think Dulgarian, of all of his opponents, I think they're mostly losing records. So this will be a big step up for him in this fight.
Right. Next bet. I've done many 3-leg parlays so far this year. I just have avoided a lot of them, but I'm going a little bit parlay heavy on this one card. Buday, I just think as the fight goes on, he'll be the better fighter. He tries to be more technical. He's got the clinch control, stronger. Josh Parisian sloppy all over the place. I just don't really expect Parisian to be able to win this fight. Going with that, Terrance McKinney. Obviously, a huge risk to kind of throw in a parlay in warning. I do think he's a huge risk. Shit, a fucking bird ran up on my window, scared the shit out of me. McKinney, though, huge risk because he's just that kill or be killed guy. And I think that he can just get Breeden out of here, whether it's the grappling or the striking in the first round. Breeden doesn't show to have crazy power. And I think McKinney gets the job done in the first round. And the under 1.5 was like minus 300. It's like, well, I'll just take McKinney's money line then, because the under 1.5 kind of favors him more. So yeah, I'll do McKinney, and then I did Josh Fremd. I think that he's just gonna be the better grappler, the better striker. Jamie Pickett just hasn't impressed me in his time in the UFC. He doesn't seem to have an understanding for striking that well. He has all the attributes of like the body type of a great fighter, but can't really string together his punches. Isn't a phenomenal grappler. I have a hard time seeing him win this fight. Moving down, we got your parlay here.
Yep, Marcus McGhee and Blackshear. Talked about McGhee a little bit earlier. I mean, he's got pretty good takedown defense, and that's the only way JP buys wins is if he can just hold down his opponents. So I think McGee's got way better striking and should win this on the feet. And then for Blackshear, Jose Johnson's coming in on a super short notice, 6 days or whatever, 5 days. Yeah, I just think Blackshear has that big path to victory with the ground game, and I think he'll be able to get this on the ground and probably sub Jose Johnson. Yeah,
from what I've seen of Johnson, he just gives up his back in bad positions, his Contender Series fight. He just was giving up weird positions against a smaller guy and was just overall sloppy. And I think Damon really impressed people in his last 2 fights. I mean, against the Montserrat brother, Farid, I think that he struggled to get up from the ground game at times on that, but he also is a good wrestler himself, and he does have pretty good tools on the feet. He's pretty fast, so yeah, I do like that bet. Moving down into the props, I got such a snag. I'm getting such a snag on BetUS with these some of these lines. They release the over-unders on like a Sunday, and Carson here will send me a little message. It'll be like, they released the over-unders, and boom, you can hit your biggest line movement right away. And this week I got it, the under 4.5 for the Vicente Luque RDA fight at plus 125. Again, it just favors Luque. Like, I think Luque is going for a finish, and if not, he does have that brain hemorrhage that could limit him and result in him being finished. So I think this one plays in the under or in the small cage. Again, RDA is only getting older, and I put a little chunk on it, and I think it's a pretty good steal there. So it's pretty much like having 2 units on Luque, in my opinion. I just think I'll get that extra line movement. Next one. I don't trust Dawodu completely, but if he's going to win this fight, it's going to be by decision. He's gone to decision 5 times in his last 5 fights. I think even past that in the UFC, he has like only one head kick finish. And then other than that, it's all decisions. And he just doesn't come out for the kill. I think if him and Cub Swanson go the distance, Hakeem's going to be trying to point fight this whole time and might have more of a case to win that. But it's really dependent on how Cub comes out in this fight. I wanted to play the over, but Cub could come out hot, wanting to finish. So just doing a half a unit on Dawodu. I just feel like there's a chance that he could just get this one by points. And if you guys are smart, you'll bet the split decision prop, Dawodu by split. I don't have that ability on BetUS, so I missed out on that. I don't know if I bet on DK it's pretty good. So down further, this is one that me and Carson both have here. Josh Parisian and Martin Buday to go over 1.5 rounds, and Khalil Rountree, Chris Daukaus to go under. Buday and Parisian will be too sloppy, not enough power as heavyweights to get the finish in the first 1.5, and hopefully clinching will make the fight last longer. And then Chris Daukaus has gone under 1.5 in all of his UFC fights, and I don't expect anything different. So, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, all three of Buday's UFC fights have went to decision. Yeah, I mean, Parisian's, I mean, he relies on finishing guys when they gas, so he's probably not getting a finish early either. So, and for Daukaus, yeah, like you said, all of his fights end in under 1.5. He dictates how fast those fights go. So maybe his chin doesn't look as good at 205. I don't know.
Maybe. Okay. For the long shot plays, I got 2 for you guys. First one, Jaqueline Amorim by KO in round 1. This number is just unbelievably good to pass up on. And, you know, I think Amorim will get a sub in round 1. However, like, given the line, there's a chance that Amorim could just get on top, Ruiz could just defend a submission, and then Amorim could just ground and pound her out. So I think this line's absurd. If you want to think, okay, plus 130 for Amorim sub round 1, and then a 14-1 odds for her to get that KO in round 1, I think that's just totally twisted. I would expect this number to be like plus 700, 800, maybe. I got to take a stab at it. And yeah, I think the sub will happen, but with this number, I got to make a move. And then finally, a big long shot play. I'm doing Amorim with Francis Marshall with the under in the Jamie Pickett Josh Fremd fight. I think Fremd will just come out fast, wanting that finish. He's a bigger favorite. He thinks he's gonna get it. So the under in the Daukaus fight, AJ Dobson and Luque, and yeah, I like all of these guys to come together and possibly get us that big payout. Any other things you had your eyes on over there, man?
Not too much. Still got maybe the Marshall Dulgarian under. I like that as well.
Yeah, because Dulgarian's got all of his finishes in the first round. Probably not gonna be able to pace that fight very well, and Marshall's got pretty powerful hands. So yeah,
that's what I'm thinking. If Dulgarian wins, it's probably in round 1. Marshall can probably win in round 2.
All right, guys. Other than that, I think we'll have our picks out for the next card after the fights, possibly on Saturday. So just stay tuned for that. UFC 292, and
yes, huge card.
All right, y'all. Peace.
I know. It doesn't matter from the trenches. I'm built like this. The old down to me said I couldn't do it. The old said I couldn't do it.